Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and warm greetings to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly take your seats as we will begin shortly. Before we commence, please take note of the following announcements. We request that all mobile phones be set to silent mode to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted event. When our distinguished guests arrive, we kindly ask for your cooperation in standing as a sign of respect. Your attention and cooperation are greatly appreciated. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and warm greetings to everyone. We would like to invite all attendees to move forward and fill up the front row first as we will begin shortly. The first and second row is for the speakers and the rest it will be for the attendees. So we would like to invite everyone to fill up the front row first before we start, inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living of Malaysia, accompanied by the Honorable Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamaluddin, Chief Executive Officer of Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs Malaysia, the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al Junior, Associate Professor at the National University of Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living of Malaysia, accompanied by the Honorable Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamaluddin, Conference Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Allied Coordinating Council of NGOs Malaysia, the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al-Junaid, Associate Professor at the National University of Singapore. May I now invite everyone to stand for the Negaraku rendition of our national anthem. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, you may now be seated. Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greetings to the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Malaysia, the Honorable Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamaluddin, Conference Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs Malaysia, the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al-Junaid, Associated Professor, National University of Singapore, distinguished panelists, the organizing committee, and collaborating partners, Angkatan Bela Islam Malaysia, Better Dads Malaysia, and Ikatan Muslimin Malaysia, leaders of various NGOs, honored guests, Datuk, Datin, professors, doctors, ladies and gentlemen, and all respected attendees. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome I bid to the honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asian Conference, the family institution in light of a rapidly changing technology and AI-driven world, impact on character, morals and values. My name is Alia Tasnim and I'm honored and glad standing in front of you as master of the conference. The conference aims to strengthen the understanding and role of the family unit in facing the challenges of a modern, technology-driven world. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, to seek the blessings of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, let us now together recite Kitab Al-Fatiha. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. May this conference be blessed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to invite all attendees to watch the videos prepared by the ASEAN.
الذين آمنوا وهاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله بأموالهم وأنفسهم أعظم درجة عند الله وأولئك هم الفائزون.
Pada hari ini untuk aktiviti mosque open day di Masjid Kapitan Seri terus down dan juga kita buat street dakwah. Dakwah merupakan satu daripada fokus aktiviti utama ASEAN dan dengan dakwah kita dapat menyampaikan Islam itu sebagai rahmatan lil alamin kepada semua.
May it will be a source of inspiration for all in the future. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to acknowledge the organizer of today's Asian Conference, the Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs Malaysia. In support of Majlis Agama Islam Wilayah Persekutuan, other support NGOs include Angkatan Bela Islam Malaysia ABIM, Better Dads Malaysia, and Ikatan Muslim Malaysia ISMA. Driven by a deep concern for the well-being and future of the family institution, our organizers and partners have come together to elevate this important theme, their shared awareness of the challenges faced by families today is what inspired this conference. It reflects a collective desire to provide guidance, strengthen values, and prepare our communities for the realities of rapidly changing technology-driven world. Let us now begin. To officially commence this conference, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamaluddin Shamsuddin, Conference Chairman and Chief Executive of Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs Malaysia, to deliver his opening address. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear kat belakang dengar? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil wassalatu wassalamu ala mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. The Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Umar Khairuddin Al-Junaid, Associate Professor from the National University of Singapore, and the keynote speaker of the conference, distinguished panelists, the organizing committee and collaborating partners, ABIM, ISMA, and also Better Dads Malaysia, leaders of the various NGOs, esteemed guests, Datuk, Datin, Professor, Doctor, ladies and gentlemen, our heartiest thanks to the Honourable Minister, Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, for gracing this occasion, at the same time giving us the encouragement and support to do better for society. Next year, inshallah, ASEAN plans to organize a bigger regional event on this subject at the ASEAN Pacific level with the support of several ministries. To all the international delegates, it's supposed to be an ASEAN conference, but it seems to be wider than that. We also have members from Albania, Tajikistan, from Pakistan, where else? From Uganda, and from the United States, mashallah. So this is actually now an international conference instead of an ASEAN level. Alhamdulillah, thank you very much for being here. To all the international delegates, we greet you with Selamat Datang, which means welcome. To sunny Malaysia, I think today is wet Malaysia. Hope this experience for these few days will be a great one. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, and a very good morning. Together today, inshallah, we gather to discuss an issue that is reshaping not only our society, but the very foundation of human life itself, the family. As we move rapidly in an AI-driven world filled with the smart devices, powerful algorithms, and digital companions, our families face challenges unlike anything that we have seen before. Technology brings many benefits, for sure. It improves our work, our learning, even our daily tasks at home. But at the same time, It quietly reshapes our behavior, our relationships, and most importantly, our character, morals, and values. If we are not careful, we may gain efficiency, but we may lose our humanity. Some of the concerns, ladies and gentlemen, very briefly, I would say that number one is the declining of human interaction and emotional bonding. In many homes today, family members sit together physically, but live in separate digital worlds. Yeah? I have teenage boys, and we can see once they are into their room, they close the door, it's bye-bye, I'm into my own world. They have the laptops, they have their smartphones, and sometimes you wonder what's happening. So children speak more to their devices than their parents. I think this is the reality, Prof. Yeah? AI assistants answer questions instantly, but they do not build empathy, patience, and compassion. If emotional connection weakens, then the values that hold families together, love, respect, and responsibility, begins to fade. Secondly, parents struggling to keep up. Technology evolves faster than parents can monitor. Social media, virtual realities, AI-generated videos, and personalized algorithms expose our children to a world with blurred boundaries between truth and falsehood. When children treat AI as a smarter authority, the influence of parents becomes weaker, guidance becomes harder, and the moral confusion becomes easier. The third issue is algorithm-driven values. Today, many of the young people learn values not from home, but from influencers, trends, and AI-curated content. What is popular becomes what is accepted. What is viral becomes what is normal. But not everything that trends is morally correct. Not everything that is entertaining is beneficial. When values are shaped by algorithms, characters become unstable. The fourth is the weakening of critical thinking and moral reasoning. AI gives answers instantly. We have seen even university students now, using various AI tools to answer a lot of questions and submit their theses and papers. So it predicts our need, it completes our task, but it cannot teach. AI cannot teach us the value of struggle, effort, or perseverance. When everything becomes automated, we risk raising a generation that is intelligent but not wise, connected but not grounded, knowledgeable but lacking of judgment. The fifth issue is identity confusion in a digital age. Our children grow up comparing themselves to filtered images and digital perfection. Their self-worth becomes tied to likes, shares, and online validation. This weakens confidence, disrupts moral identity, and creates conflict between values taught at home and the values rewarded online. Number 6 is erosion of cultural, religious, and traditional values. The global content flows into our homes every day. Without guidance, our young people may feel more connected to global trends than their own culture and family traditions. Respect for elders, modesty, community spirit, all this can disappear beneath the noise of the digital world. Family stress and work-life imbalance. AI has made workplace faster and more demanding. Messages come at all hours. Works follow us home. Parents have less time and energy to nurture their families. As a result, emotional guidance is replaced by digital entertainment and family conversation by screen time. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we do? Maybe what we need to do is hopefully today we will discuss, deliberate, and come up with a resolution and ideas by this afternoon, where I can share a few points that we need to strengthen family communications. Talk more at home. I don't know how, but we need to do that and find ways to connect more. Number 2 is practice conscious digital parenting, set boundaries, understand the platform, and guide children with compassion. Sometimes that is a problem when the child becomes late teens and early adulthood. He listens to you, and then he nods, and then he go and do what he wants. Yeah, I think that is the issue now, brother from Pakistan. What should we do? We need your ideas. Uh, and I need these ideas really. I have 4 boys, and 3 of them are still young teenagers. So it's a tough call. And the third potential is instilling values consistently. Teach honesty, empathy, discipline, resilience, and responsibility. For us, is from the Islamic perspective. I think that's very important. And then fourth is balance digital life with real life. Encourage outdoor activities, family meals, and meaningful conversations. Promote cultural and religious grounding. Our traditions and teaching must anchor us in this turbulent digital age. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the AI era will continue to evolve. It's not going anywhere. New technologies will emerge, but one thing must remain strong: the family institution, the first school of character, the first source of love, and the first defender of moral values. Let us ensure that in this modern world, we do not raise children who are digitally connected but emotionally disconnected, knowledgeable but unprincipled, intelligent but without wisdom. ASEAN applauds the decision of the Australian government beginning on the 9th of December 2025 to ban access to social media until the age of 16. They've already implemented it 2 days ago. Many countries, including Malaysia, are mulling to follow suit. Inshallah, may we guide our families with strength, compassion, and clarity so that technology serves humanity, not replaces it. Last but not least, we thank all our collaborators, panelists, and participants for making this event a resounding success. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, the Honorable Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamaluddin Shamsuddin, for meaningful words. We will now proceed to the officiating address. It is my honor to invite the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, Malaysia.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. A very good morning. Salam Malaysia Madani. Thank you. Did I get your name right, Alia? Yeah, thank you, Alia. Honorable Haji Insignio Muhammad Jamaluddin Shamsuddin, Chief Executive Officer of Allied Coordinating Council of Islamic NGOs Malaysia, ASEAN. The Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al-Junaid, Associate Professor at the National University of Singapore, the keynote speaker of the conference, Dr. Fatin Nur Majdina Nudin, and distinguished panelists. I can see they have participants coming from all over the world. Alhamdulillah. The organising committee and collaborating partners, Angkatan Belia Islam Malaysia, ABIM, Better Dads Malaysia, and Ikatan Muslimin Malaysia, ISMA. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy to be here at the Asian Conference on the Family Institution in light of rapidly changing technology and the AI-driven world impact on character, morals, and value. It is a privilege for me to officiate this ASEAN Conference on the Family Institution in light of a rapidly changing technology and AI-driven world. Actually, it's not supposed to be me that is supposed to be standing here today. It's supposed to be my colleague, Dr. Salleh Mustafa, who is the Minister of the Federal Territories. However, late last night, I was informed that her mother is critical in hospital. So she's a very close friend and a dear sister. So I say, okay, I'll oblige because it's supposed to be my off day today. It so happens. Otherwise, I'll be away. Normally, I'll be away. But Alhamdulillah, I'm pleased. It's not just about Dr. Zaleha. It's also about the topic itself. Because the topic and the NGO work and the activism has been in my blood since I was a student. So it's not something that it's something that I feel that I need to relate. I can easily relate to. And I think it is a subject which is very close to all of our hearts. Because families remain the first place where individuals learn how to live with others. It is within the family that children observe how decisions are made, how disagreements are handled, and how responsibilities are carried. Long before formal education or public institution enter a person's life, the family shapes attitudes, habits, and character. When daily life changes through technology, work patterns, and communication tools, the family is often the first to feel that change. The pace of globalization and digitalization has altered how families interact. Communication now happens across screens as much as across dining tables. Parents face new questions about supervision and guidance. Young people are exposed to information and influences that earlier generations did not encounter at the same age. These shifts ask more of families on how they adapt, communicate, and guide one another. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I've been made to understand that one of the key aims of the conference is to highlight the relationship between faith and family across ASEAN. Our societies are diverse in culture and tradition, but faith continues to play an important role in shaping values and behavior. I think this is the first pillar. The first pillar is the belief system. Over time, from the beginning of time, whatever books that we have, whether it is the Torah or the Bible or the Quran, whether it is the teachings of Confucius, or whether it is the teaching of Buddha, it has always emphasized on a belief system that will bring with it a certain set of values. And every religion across from the beginning of time has always, there's common values that is shared about how we interact with others, about the duty of humankind, one toward another, why humans are created in the first place is to do good and not to do harm. The belief in the hereafter, the belief that there is a creator, and these are common values from the beginning of time. With faith and with religion, it is the same values that is being passed down. So this is the first one. It is a belief system. It provides a moral compass. The belief system provides a moral compass, a reference point in a time when information is abundant and often unfiltered. Technology delivers speed and access, but it does not offer judgment or wisdom. Families that draw strength from faith are often better able to guide conversations about limits, responsibilities, and purpose. In this way, faith does not stand apart from modern life. It helps family navigate with clarity. The second focus of this conference is the role of moral values. And I put this as a second pillar. The first one is the belief system, and the first one is the belief system, and the second one is the value system. Because the value system is what maintains harmony within family and society. Because there's always it, I've always said this. In Malaysia, we are multiracial. We are multi-religious society. We used to have the word tolerance, but I personally don't agree with that word. Tolerance is like, it's just like I tolerate you. I don't like it, but I tolerate you. I think a better word for a society as plural as ours is respect. Mutual respect. And that is translated in the Madani framework. One of it is hormat or respect. When we have true respect for others, not just mere tolerance, I think then only we can start talking about developing value system together. We should be a melting pot of pluralism rather than be divided based on race or religion. We should respect each other for what they believe in and be able to accommodate, not just accommodate, but understand it in the implications in our everyday life. Recently, AirAsia announced that their female air stewardess are allowed to wear the headscarves. I sent a note to Tony Fernandez. I said, congratulations. Congratulations, Tony, for implementing this. And his response was, yes, it's out of respect. It's true respect. Because he says, I respect what others believe in. I respect about your values. I respect about what you stand for. And I respect that Muslim women wants to cover their aurat. So he said, I respect. Okay, so I mean, Alhamdulillah, and I think Malaysia is moving in that direction with the Madani government promoting such values, not just mere tolerance as before, but more towards real respect. And that's the second one. Yeah. So hopefully with the value system and the belief system, the value system, we are moving forward to strengthen the foundations of our society. If we look at Malaysia, there has been an increase in marital breakdown among couples, younger couples especially. Some of it is linked to economic stress. Some of it is communication difficulties that are intensified by constant digital engagement. Every day in Malaysia, 3 to 4 children are victims of sexual assault, including rape and incest. The divorce rate in 2024 increased by 4.1%, and it is predominant among Muslim families. These are worrying indeed. And parents are making children's exposure to online content that is not always appropriate or accurate. Recently, we heard about gang rape among underage children. There was a case where an underage boy murdered an underage girl for not responding to his attention. And he was interested in her and she didn't respond, so he killed. And where did he buy the weapon from? Online. He bought the weapon online. So these are very worrying trends. And also the case of Zara Kairina, I think it became a nationwide case. Yeah. Also was very sad. And similar patterns are appearing also across other countries. Some countries are facing declining marriage and birth rates. Others experience prolonged family separation due to working commitments. Even in Malaysia, we have this. Doctors are separated, teachers are separated. So it becomes a one-parent family having to manage the household. And this is what we call PJJ, or family that only come together during the weekends. Or not every weekend. It may be once a month or only during the festive seasons. So, and this is the reality that we do have to address rather than sweep under the carpet. The third objective of this conference is to consider the role of education in responding to the digital environment and the emergence of artificial intelligence. Education extends beyond academic knowledge. It involves shaping how young people think, evaluate information, and understand consequences. How do children learn? Children learn by imitating others. Children learn by what they see being practiced around them. Children don't learn by parents telling them what to do. Actually, Prof, setuju? They don't learn by that. I remember there was, those of us who studied psychology, my background is counseling psychology. There is a case of how we condition the dog. The dog was given food every day at a certain specific time. And then the food, before the dog was given the food, the owner rings a bell. The owner rings a bell and then serve food to the dog. And then at a certain time, every day. So the dog learns that prior to receiving his food, there will be a bell which is sounded. So this goes on and on and on until one day, the bell was sounded, but the dog does not get his food. And the dog saliva was drooling, and he was expecting food. This process of conditioning is what happens in our daily environment. And this is how children learn. Right from small, we keep reminding our children that they should respect the elders. They should eat with their right hand. Don't gobble your food. Don't swallow your food. Eat slowly. This is what parents tell them. Not too much on the phone. This is what parents tell them. But what do they see and what do they observe? It may be something else. So it is what conditions the child. And I think parents should not be afraid to recondition themselves in order to recondition their children. When our children was growing up, and my husband is here, when our children were growing up, 5 of our children are married. 1 going to be married soon. When they were growing up, our challenge was different. It's about peer pressure. It's about the teenagers relating to their peers more than to their parents. That was the time gone. Our children, we used to be concerned about that. And how do parents become the point of reference for children rather than going to their peers, their teenage friends to confide in. Parents should be their best friend. That was our challenge then. But now, looking at our grandchildren, it's frightening. It's frightening. for us, because sometimes I would listen to our grandchildren in their room talking. They're playing games online with friends, and they're shouting and they're talking and they're excited. And we look at them, they're just alone there. But they're online with the world. The community is borderless. And it opens a space for predators. It opens, the risks are so high. And this is very, very worrying. That is why parents have to understand that the challenge is tremendous and should not be afraid to learn new skills. How do parents manage with this challenge at a time like now? It'd be interesting to listen to best dads. Yeah. But I won't be around to listen. But I'm very excited to know that best Malaysian dad. Best Malaysian dad is in best Better Dads Malaysia. Better Dads Malaysia is part of the organizing committee, and it's good to that you're on board, sir, because I hope that you can share about how to be a better dad, how to be a better parent. How do parents manage? Parents must not be afraid to learn new skills. Parents must not be afraid to go to and learn better parenting skills at a time like now. How do you assert parental control or parental supervision over AI? Because it does not run away from the fact that parents should be still the first point of reference for the child. Education focuses on behavior. It is a behavior and a norm that we want to inculcate from education. It's not just about learning, going to school, getting flying colors in the exams, doing well. Many parents can fall into that trap. Children go to school, children come back from school, children getting straight A's, that's the objective. That's not all. It's about developing a child to be a future human with a good belief system, with a good value system, and to be a leader in their own right in the future society and in the future communities. It used to be school, home, friends. That is the environment that educate our child. But now, it's not just that. It's not school, home, friends. It's the world around them that is going to determine the outcome of our children's norm, behavior, value system, and belief system. And as I said, it's very frightening. It's very frightening for the younger parents. To face these sort of challenges. Against through all of this, I have to share that the government is trying its best to incorporate some laws. One of it is the Online Safety Act, which was passed early this year. And there is going to be a subsidiary law that is going to look into control for the below 16. There will be a subsidiary law. For example, if you look at games like Roblox, it does have its positive points, but there's lots of risk to it as well. If you read about Roblox in the internet, it says that it must come with parental supervision. It must come with parental control. But how do you enforce that when parents are themselves busy? When parents are themselves perhaps also like managing with the household where both parents are working, or one parent is working away and the other parent have to take care of the family, and it is a real challenge. We also, Parliament, the lower house have passed the anti-bullying bill that was in the lower house, and it's going to be, it will be brought to the upper house sometime this week, the anti-bullying bill. And we hope that it will be passed in both houses of Parliament and gazetted as a new law. So the government is doing something. We are bringing a value system, which is the Madani values, the framework of the Madani, which emphasizes on, yes, creativity, but also the balance of that, which emphasizes on respect and all. So all in all, I hope that this platform, I hear from the CEO of ASEAN that you have a bigger one next year, inshallah. I hope that it will be a starting point that provides impetus for more work ahead. I hope that the resolutions will look into how we can share from each other, how we can, if possible, not repeat the learning curve, because it's a dangerous learning curve. If we can learn from others, then we can try to intervene the mistakes made by others before us and learn from each other. Certainly new skills, new approaches, new best practices from others. I hope that the sharing will be beneficial for all of you. And I also hope that it's not just about parenting, it's also about extended families. Go back to the extended family value system. Go back to the community. We used to say that it takes a village to raise a child. But now what do? We don't even know our neighbors. Yeah, or sometimes when the teacher assert some discipline, parents come complaining. This is also what's happening in our society. So how do we correct all of this? How do we bring back that whole nation approach to bringing up, developing the future humankind in our country, in ASEAN, and in the world? So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I wish, I hope, I pray, I make dua that the conference will benefit all of us, the sharing will benefit all of us, and that we come back, we bring back good ideas from the sharing, and hopefully there will be a way forward, there will be a roadmap, there will be a plan of action that we can follow up from here. And hopefully, inshallah, next year when you convene together again, inshallah, there will be some other further sharings on the success stories that you have done over the years, over this 1 year. So with that, with the lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officiate the ASEAN Conference on the Family Institution in light of a rapidly changing technology and AI-driven world. I wish all of you a productive and engaging conference. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, for the insightful officiating address just now. Now, I would like to invite the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al-Junaid, Associate Professor at National University of Singapore, to deliver keynote address of effect of technology from the perspective of ethics, character, moral, and values. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah binti Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, the Honorable Haji Muhammad Jamaluddin. I actually call him Brother Jamal most of the time. Conference chairman and the CEO of ASEAN, and distinguished panelists, as well as the organizing committee and collaborating partners, leaders of NGOs, Datuk, Dati, and professors, ladies and gentlemen. We have heard a lot from our respected Senator and Datuk Fuziah Salleh on the challenges of technology, not only in Malaysia and I think in the world. I think what I'm going to do now is actually to elaborate and extend from where she has left off to set some kind of framework for the entire conference. And I'm sure that some of the things that I'm going to bring up right now for the next 30 minutes are things that we will discuss in detail. So the topic of my keynote presentation today is how technology can form and in fact deform ethics, morality, and character. And I will give some lessons from Malaysia. Of course, I'm not going to talk about statistics. I just came back from USM talking about things related to numbers and writing. So I will have less statistical talk today. Now, I want to explore a few things that we should discuss this whole day. The first is how technology has and will shape ethical behavior, or what we call in Arabic, even in Malay, akhlak. How technology can shape not only what we do, but also what we consider as normal and abnormal, and also what is possible. Second, I want to try and explore how technology has and will influence our moral framework, how we define what morality is, and our assumptions of what is right and what is wrong, and how we are always in the gray area, especially when you go to TikTok, Instagram, you see a lot of photos and videos of men and women not wearing proper clothing, and we just treat it as normal in our everyday life. And thirdly, I will talk about how technology has inevitably formed character, our habits, our virtues, our predispositions, and how this then gets spilled over into everyday life. So if you are wondering why your child start talking like an American or start imitating somebody from a place that you don't even know, it all boils down to what he or she has been exposed to in the digital world. And to ground this discussion, I will highlight examples, few of them from Malaysia, a society that is deeply rooted in tradition, but it is a society that is right now, as you all know, most plugged into the digital world. Without us realizing, Malaysia has the highest social media users in the whole of ASEAN, other than the Filipinos and the Bruneians. I used to live in Brunei before, and Bruneians are always online because there's nothing much to do probably over there. It's a very small country. Now, I want to begin with a very important point that many of us take very lightly. The first point is that technology is not neutral. A lot of technologists now will tell us that AI is just a tool. AI is just a platform, that handphones are just instruments. Many researchers and many of the attendees here who are experts in technology know that technology actually carries with it values and encourages certain behaviors. When you buy your first handphone, the first thing that the handphone does to you, whether it's Huawei, whether it's Honor, whether it's Samsung, and especially if it's Apple, it carries with it certain apps and certain instruments that will shape your everyday behavior. In fact, many of you know that your handphone can organize what time you sleep, when you should turn on, how many hours are you spending on the phone. Technology, especially the smartphone, gives us access to information, communication, and convenience. But at the same time, it constructs a moral environment. And to put it in Malay, and I will translate it into English, the handphone, telefon bimbit tangan ni sebenarnya dah menjadi satu alat yang melahirkan akhlak yang baru bagi kita. So the handphone has become a tool or an instrument that gives birth to new akhlak. And this is the funny thing, right? Even though it's an instrument, it has become a place where people become impulsive, where attention becomes fragmented, as Brother Jamal was mentioning just now. So we need to be first attentive to this. To let your child play a game, to let them watch videos, TikTok, and so forth and so forth. These are not neutral platforms. These are platforms that will affect how we do our things and how they carry out their lives. But at the same time, precisely because technology is not neutral, technology also offers us with many possibilities. Number one, because of technology, we are able to speak truth to power publicly. Anybody can criticize a minister any day. Just put it up on Instagram and there will be thousands of likes and the minister has to respond. And now we have the ability to express communal solidarity more than ever before. So you can see this during the COVID-19 crisis, where through social media, people inform each other of what's happening. So it is a tool that can help us too. But there is a downside to this. In the social media, people are using it to humiliate strangers, to make fun of people, to spread unverified news, and to attack those that we disagree. So in this sense, technology has become a site where people become more honest, people become more humble, but at the same time, our morals, ethics, and character has become less certain. It's no longer stable. So that's the first thing. We need to understand this and we need to discuss this later on. How this tool, which is not neutral, is affecting all of us. And in fact, the Quran actually mentions this in another way in Surah Luqman. For those Muslims here who are listening in, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَحْوَ الْحَدِيثِ لِيُدِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا. So in Surah Luqman, Allah says that there are people amongst mankind who would trade may yashtari lahwal hadith. They would trade false news. Lahwal hadith can be vain talk. And this ayat basically anticipates the current issues that we have now. Whether in TikTok, whether in Facebook, whether in IG, people are trading news that are not true. And all of these are actually affecting us at an everyday basis. That leads me to the second point, that technology has led towards what we call as clever manipulation. And I can use Malaysia and in fact Singapore and any country all over the world as a good example. There is now the spread of online scams. There are love scams, there are financial scams, there are now voice scams. Now there's a big scam in Malaysia called the Macau scams. I don't know whether you have been scammed. My friend, whose daughter is a dentist, was scammed by a financial scam. Merely by talking to the lady online, she lost $60,000. And this is a trained dentist, right? So do not see technology as something that is neutral, but more importantly, scamming has become a big thing that is affecting children as well. So what we are seeing right now is this whole idea of ethical conduct being challenged through scammers. And without us realizing, sometimes we are sharing our information and the information of our loved ones to the scammers. And this is why many technologies have said, try as much as possible to not upload your children's photos online, because these become hubs and become tools for scammers to use. And Malaysia has tried to do this by promoting a lot of digital literacy campaigns that are run not only by governments but civil society groups. These initiatives are not merely technical, but they are also ethical intervention. So when we have campaigns, we're not trying to make people more aware, more conscious, or sadar, as we say in Malay. But what we want them to do is to understand how to manipulate technology again for the benefit of their akhlaq and for their morality. So that's the second point. Now, the third thing is that technology has brought about the growth of moral judgment. with the digital world that we are in, with the news cycles, emotional reactions, political responses, there is no ethical reasoning that has been there before. If in the past, even if we disagree with a minister, we would kindly tell the minister that the minister is wrong. Now, people do not care, right? So there is a lack of reflection and deliberation. As I mentioned when I was in USM yesterday, there is a knowledge explosion, but there is a wisdom implosion. People are losing their hikmah. They know a lot, especially the young people that we have now. They have a lot of information in their hands, but they don't have wisdom, and they judge without thinking of the implications of their judgment. And Malaysia is experiencing this at a level more than Singapore, which is a highly technological society. We're going to talk about it later. We are already on 6G now. We have so many online controversies in Malaysia. When I was staying in I felt so overwhelmed. And what I have been doing right now is actually not to watch anything coming from Malaysia as much, because when a public figure makes a mistake, everybody starts to judge. Era Fazira got married yesterday, it becomes big news. I mean, lucky guy. Right? So the judgment on social media is immediate. Nuance, context, and forgiveness, which used to be part and parcel of moral life, is now pushed aside by the speed of digital outrage. Once you make a mistake, it is a death sentence, especially when that mistake enters into the digital world. So if in the past, we have always been a society of rahmah, or watawasaw bil sabri, watawasaw bil marhamah, to remind each other with patience and to remind each other with love, now because of the technology that we have built for ourselves, moral judgment becomes a death sentence. The challenge then is to not only teach good values, but to cultivate moral patience, the ability to resist being swept away by the velocity of the digital world. So we need to teach our kids that when they see something wrong online, don't make your judgment first. Find out, selide as we say in Malay, do your research, and then make your judgment by information that is complete. And this is the other thing. That leads me to the other issue of the erosion of privacy. What technology has done is to remove the boundaries of the public and the private that we used to have in the past. It has blurred the lines between family life and personal life, public life and personal life. We share anything and everything. And this is the problem that we have, especially in our Malay community. Everything they do, they have to upload it online, especially when they eat something. I've just eaten a burger at this place. And now AI specialists all over the world have shown the moment you share that you are at a certain place in a certain time eating certain thing, scammers are looking at it and finding out, drawing a profile about yourself, knowing exactly where you have moved, and then tracking down the kinds of lifestyle that you have to form a picture of you in order to cheat you, your children, your spouses, and so forth and so forth. This erosion of privacy is now seen in Malaysia. Of course, we need surveillance cameras in schools, especially with the rise of bullying. I just gave a lecture 2 weeks ago at KPM, and I say in Singapore, before you enter into any school, there would be 3 surveillance cameras looking at you to protect the children that are going to come to school. But at the same time, with all of this technology, people are uploading pictures when they are not allowed to, and this has removed the personal boundaries that people used to have before. And this raises certain moral questions, whether should we teach responsibility in an age where people's privacy is no longer respected? Should we cultivate compassion to people who make mistakes in public? Someone walks and falls down, somebody takes a video and show how stupid this thing is. And this is happening right now, what we call as online bullying. And should we have more debates over data protection and personal privacy? The good thing about Malaysia as well as Singapore is that Malaysia has passed the Personal Data Protection Act, which is a very, very important step where you cannot share people's pictures very easily through social media. But I always believe that laws are always the last step that we should take. The first law that we need to have is the law of respect, as the minister was mentioning just now, which we must teach at home. And this is the crisis of the Muslim community here in Malaysia as well as in Singapore and everywhere else. The homes do not become the hubs by which laws are taught, because husbands no longer talk to their wives, they SMS or they WhatsApp each other. Mothers don't talk to their daughters because they want to ask their daughters to come for dinner. They have to WhatsApp their daughter who's in the room. We no longer talk to each other about respect, compassion, and understanding that you must respect the law at home for you to respect the law outside. If you have a lawless house at home, you will be lawless in public. And this is the thing that we need to resolve. Now, there is this issue as well of technology in shifting the landscape of authority. Because of technology, the whole idea of hierarchy in society is now muzzled. And traditionally, in the kampung days or in the old days, we used to get moral guidance from parents, teachers, religious leaders, and respected elders. But now, your kids are not listening to you in as much as they listen to Sheikh, Google, and Maulana ChatGPT. Those are their sources of references. My son, who's only 11 years old, I have 6 kids. I don't think anyone of you have more than me. I'm a champion on this part. Often turn to YouTube personalities. Some are 6. Okay, so we are on the same maqam then. TikTok influencers and online communities for answers. So I have my kids asking me, young ones, I've heard this from a TikTok influencer. The good thing is that he asked me whether this is true or not. So he seeks verification. But all of this raises a fundamental ethical question. Who in the digital world has the authority to shape character? Is it Speed? I don't know whether you know this personality, Speed. Everybody watches Speed now. Is he the one that is supposed to shape our kids' character? When your moral tutor is an algorithm designed to maximize engagement rather than wisdom, the result then can be that our kids will grow up without enough communication with us. They will have shallower understanding, reactive emotional habits. If you want to see how ChatGPT and their handphones has become their fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters, take away the handphone from your kid for 20 minutes and see how they react. I did it to my university student. Whenever I start my class, I will take the handphone away and the girl will go like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? So the handphone has become their God. And this is a big issue that we are faced with right now. And it has led to a fragmented sense of identity. Now, all that I'm saying here is not a rejection of technology, but I would like to consciously make us aware that in as much as the technology is taking our children, our families, our wives, our husbands away, we need to continually engage with the people around us. Technology may be a challenge for us today, but technology also provides us with many moral opportunities. In Malaysia, and this is why I like Malaysia so much, other than the nasi kandar, we see young people mobilizing digital platforms for ethical purposes. There's a lot of crowdsourcing of medical funds. There's a lot of movement organizing community services. If you want to get the youth to be involved in ASEAN, just run an environmentally awareness campaign. Save the cats. And you'll get the young people to support you. In Singapore, Save the Dog campaign, everybody comes out. Save the Mothers campaign, nobody goes. So we have an issue here. There's a lot of preserving cultural heritage online. And all of these are happening and made possible because of technology. So it is a double-edged sword that we must use to our advantage. And character formation can actually grow out of these technological improvements that we have. Now, I'd just like to conclude by saying 3 more points. Number 1 is that technology is not the enemy. It expands our capacities and connects us across distances and enables forms of cooperations that are previously unimaginable. The big enemy is ourselves. It is not the technology. We are the ones who have enslaved ourselves to the technology that we create and we consume. Number two, the ethical challenges that we face, the keruntuhan akhlak or the fall of akhlak, is not because of technological problems alone. They are human problems expressed through technology. We have forgotten the importance of shaping moral character. What we have become now because of neoliberalism, and I'm on a battle against neoliberalism right now because it's affecting our universities, where professors are turned into numbers and tools. The device in our pocket actually reflects the values of those who designed it and how we actually use it. Whether we want to use it to shape the habits of society or we want to use it to be shaped by the forces that be in this technology. And last but not least, the task before us is the cultivation of character through the digital tools that we have in ways that would allow us to navigate the digital world with wisdom, responsibility, compassion, and as mentioned by the minister just now in so profound a way, respect. We need to inculcate respect through digital means. As we move forward, let us remember that technology does not determine our destiny. I disagree with Francis Fukuyama, who says that we are heading towards a post-human world. I don't think so. We are still human and we still have agency and power, but technology actually reveals our priorities. In Arabic, we say our awlawiyat. What is it that we want to prioritize now in our lives? It magnifies our choices, and ultimately, it is in our moral imagination, our ethical courage, and our commitment of character that will determine the future of the digital age. I want to end by saying that Malaysia must be ahead of the curve. It must be the country that becomes the model for other Muslim countries all over the world, that shows the Muslim world and the world around it that Malaysians can use technology to shape character. And that process must begin here, today, in this conference. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al-Junaid, for your inspiring words. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to present token of appreciations to our honorable guests. I would like to invite the Honorable Haji and Senior Muhammad Jamaluddin Shamsuddin to present token of appreciation. Please welcome. First, we would like to invite the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, Deputy Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living of Malaysia. Next, we would like to invite the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Al-Junaid, Associated Professor at National University of Singapore. Thank you, the Honorable Haji and Senior Muhammad Jamaluddin Shamsuddin, for the ceremony of token of appreciation to the honorable guests. You may now return to your seat. Thank you. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, Now we will move on to the photography session. We invite everyone to remain for this memorable moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to respectfully announce that the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh, the Honorable Haji and Senior Muhammad Jamaluddin, and the Honorable Professor Dr. Syed Muhammad Khairuddin Ajanian will now be taking their leave from the ceremony to the press conference. On behalf of organizing committee, we express our deepest appreciation to the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh for gracing today's conference. We are truly honored to have the Honorable YB Senator Datuk Dr. Fuziah Salleh with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the next agenda, a gentle reminder, refreshments are served outside the hall and will be available along the seminar. And for the next session, we will be start at and for the next session we will be start at 10:50. Thank you.